and create that massive income for your family on a generational level, then this is the project for you. This will check off all the boxes.
Where are you leveraging $12.5 million for over $160 million real estate?
Hi, my name is Maud Leger, business owner and marketing expert for all things real estate. And I'm on a mission to empower realtors with cutting edge insights, success stories, and actionable strategies from the top minds in real estate. Welcome back to Sold Right Away. In today's episode, we're flipping the script. This is going to feel a little different because I'm not just here to inspire you. I'm here to introduce you to an exceptional business and investment opportunity that could change the way you build wealth through real estate. Imagine earning six figures of passive income from real estate without being a landlord, without swinging a hammer, renovating a thing, and without chasing a deal after another. Today, I'm talking to the minds behind a purpose-built apartment development that's helping everyday investors build generational wealth while staying completely hands-off. If you ever wanted to get into real estate but didn't know where to start, this is the episode for you. Let's get to my chat with Mark and Nick. Hi, Mark and Nick. Thank you for joining us on the episode today. Tell us about your project. How did it come along?
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I guess we started last August. We essentially, assembled 5 strategic pieces of land based on the location and the zoning and on Rymal Road. So we have 5 very strategic pieces of property. And why we selected those properties is because it's already a C5 zoning, which permits 6 to 12 story building. So it was the power of least resistance. So we went from one house to the next house, and now we have all 5 in a row.
So you have 5 in a row on Rymal, and that's where you're going to build this fabulous project you're going to talk to us about. So tell us about what this project looks like.
Yeah, so adding to what Mark is saying, once Mark and I established those 5 parcels strategically in a good location that everyone knows, Rymal Road, East in Hamilton, what we've done is we then kind of positioned, another player, which is a crucial part, is one of the GPs of the project, Toth. And basically we said, okay, well, we have the 5 parcels. We know we want to build 2 purpose-built rental apartment buildings. And we know we want to utilize CMHC financing. So along with that, we said, well, who would be the perfect person that we would approach to basically build the project out for us? And that is someone that we've networked with over the last few years. We've seen their work, very reputable in the Niagara community, and also now being known outside of the Niagara community. And that is Toth from Elevate Living. We found that he was the right fit. He shared our vision. And more importantly, we work really well together as a trio. So that was the next step is we have the 5 parcels, we have the land. We know we want to build 2 purpose-built rentals. We want to utilize the CMHC financing to build it and to hold it. And so the last missing piece was, well, who's going to build the project? And basically, we came up with Toth from Elevate Living to do that with us. So, that's basically where we left off at that point. Yep.
Yeah, love it. So tell us then why purpose-built apartments at this point with all market changes and uncertainties right now, why apartments?
I guess the answer to that question is it all depends on what the individual sees for themselves and their family. With a small investment, they really can improve the quality of their life in the next 5 to 10 years. The core values of this project essentially was you don't have to be a big person. You can be regular people like us, just taking advantage of the opportunity to have that passive income on a monthly basis. At the same time, be a part of 450 units, which typically is a massive undertaking that not one person can do. So it's got a couple of really key factors. One, improving the lives of the sellers because it's going to be monumental when they get paid out and how it impacts on them. 2, for our investor partners and limited partners, it's really showing them the true value about in any market conditions, whether you're in Hamilton or in Florida, you're really participating and investing in a business that runs without you. Right now, we all have jobs, and a job that's trading money for time. Passive income creates income without your involvement, and that's really what the whole vision was. So reality is whether the market's up or down, people need to have a place to call home. And in this strategic location, it kind of checks off all the boxes that. And then in addition, the final step was this substantial investment that CMHC brings in. So we're leveraging $160 million project with literally $15 to $16 million down, and at the same time generating massive cash flows for our limited partners and group. So I guess that's my, what are your thoughts?
It just, the only thing that I like to add is, the condo market, as we all know right now, is not doing that well. I quote an underwriter that is looking at condo projects that's called 911. They do not want to, lend on that type of project right now. As we all know, the market is struggling in the condo market. So, the taking advantage and utilizing government incentive programs like CMHC to build purpose-built apartment buildings to try to add more homes and more affordability for everybody is the kind of a core value that Mark and I had, that we want to invest in something, but build something with a foundation of helping not only just the investors and their families, but also people looking for homes and have some type of affordability to it. And that rental game and that rental play is right now strategically done to do that. And that's kind of why we chose purpose-built rentals for obvious reasons with the CMHC financing, obvious reasons with the condo market struggling. We're able to utilize everything going on currently in today's market and lending and kind of build this project to help everyone from the LPs to the GPs and to the people that are going to be calling it their home. So that's probably why purpose-built. There are exit strategies that we can play if, the rental market starts to fall at one point, or if the condo markets come around or turn around one day. There's options to remove the status of rental, and we can make our buildings into condos, right? And sell half, keep half. So this really solved, and we've really kind of looked at all the risks and, looked and see if this happens, what's our play? If this goes on, what do we do here? So we really kind of mapped out, an exit strategy for things that could happen. And no matter which way it turns or the market goes, we are, this is a very, strong investment that, allows us to turn and grow with the market and adapt really to the conditions. But we feel regardless that the purpose-built rental option is safe and strong, and it's really where we see moving forward.
Yeah, I love how it's strategic, it's risk averse. You have thought of a what if plan, so that's a great idea and partnership to get into. So who is your ideal investor? Is it first-time investors, experienced real estate investors, or anyone looking to diversify?
If I were to answer that, I would say anyone who really wants to participate and join a group of like-minded people with the same core value of building passive income for themselves and their family, and create generational wealth. They can come in at any level, whether you come in at a lower level or a higher level. Our structure is very fair and equitable, meaning that I might come in at $167,000 and Nick might come in at $1 million. The only difference between him and I is he gets a higher percentage of the cash flow. So there's equity right across the board. And that was fair. We didn't want anyone to have uncertainty or unpredictable or being bullied around. This foundation is very, very, if I had to say it, equitable to everybody, because that's the way it has to be. On the sellers are going to be successful and be attainable. Our investors are group of people that are committed. So is there someone ideal? I would say anyone who has the capacity to come in at a small investment of $167,500 up to whatever they want. We're looking for anyone who's prepared to participate and to really kind of see the value, especially in these times, right now, if you don't have passive income coming in, it could be a struggle. Yeah, and what we're telling people today is during good times or bad times, this project will continue to give on a monthly basis for you and your family. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about the numbers. You mentioned returns and investments. How can you explain the long time vision for this in terms of returns, the monthly, the refinance, and then the end profit, and then the phase two as well?
Yeah. So basically, as this project, as Mark explained at the beginning, we've strategically have purchased the five building lots or 5 houses. So with the zoning already being in place and the site plans and planning and all that other stuff that has to be done, we would say respectfully and safe, conservatively speaking, that we're probably anywhere from 3 to 4 years away from having a shovel in the ground. Probably 3 years, and then once the shovel's in the ground, we would say by the 5th year, we're looking at occupancy on a building, on the first building, 300 unit building. Once that building, we will also dig for the second building, which is around 150 units. We would dig at the same time, build them at the same time, but always have a little bit of a delay in the second building and making sure that our closing on the second is about 14 to 18 months of occupancy after the first one. And that way it helps with some absorption, the lease up. We don't want to compete against ourselves. And strategically, that's just the right move and a safe move to do. In terms of the cash flow, so if an investor would like to come in, they come in, for example, at, let's take Mark's example at $165,000. They would get a percentage, and that percentage would be based on the 300 units and the 150 units. So it's not a 165 for the first and then another 165 for the second. No, it's 165,000 for 450 units, plus or minus. There might be some commercial as well that we have to discuss with the city, which is always a bonus. But that's essentially what you're getting is $165,000 gets you a percentage of 450 units, 2 apartment buildings, and returns. So we will receive the LP or the LPs and the interested investors will receive a monthly cash flow paid monthly. So let's call it year 5. We have occupancy. They will start receiving cash flow in that first year. The second year would be, again, the 300 unit building. So they receive another cash flow that second year. And in the third year, or, within the second or the third year, that other 150 unit building now is live. And now that's got full occupancy. So now in that third year, you're going to be seeing 2 returns monthly. And then again then the 5th year of occupancy, the first building we will refinance at the end of that year, and they will pull tax-free money out. And we'll show you an example because I think it's important to know. And then about 2 years after that, the 150 unit building will then will go for refinances at the end of that year, and you'll benefit from that refinance as well, tax-free. So if you want to go over the example for that 165,000 example.
I guess at 165,000, they're going to participate in ownership of 450 units. The cash flow over the period of time is 181,000 on the 300 units, and we've got full charts and everything. I'm just going to we're going to skip to the just really saying so. A small investment at 165. By the time your cash flow and your refi, you'll walk out with $905,223 over a period of 0 to 5 plus the additional 5 over a period of 10 years. And the consistent, predictable cash flow. And these charts in our underwriting is very conservative. So we've only appreciated our building at 3%. We've been very conservative. We're using 5% vacancies, but you'll see that in our financial overview of pro formas. The critical thing I don't want to spend too much time is, another example is somebody brings in $247,500. The difference between the two is about $82,500 uplinked. On the end value, that will return you $1,349,000. So a little increase in that down payment or investment will bring you $442,000 more. So this is why it's a life-changing thing for families. This is a life-changing opportunity because in uncertain markets or uncertain times, they're going to get paid. You don't ever have to show up. Heck, you don't even have to know where the building is. So so that gives a lot of confidence. And we've got a very strong GP team. We're looking at good, strong LPP teams. That we brought in a really strong management company to bring it all together. And 16 to 24 months prior to occupancy, there's going to be a massive marketing campaign, strategic marketing to pre-lease the building. So we've got all the boxes checked off. We've got right people in the right places, and we've got the right developers. So we're poised for success, not only for the sellers here, but also for the LPs who are going to participate.
Love it. I think we were going to talk about the partners in a bit, but before that, you mentioned 3 to 5 years before the first shovel, and then 1 year later occupancy. So you're going to build really fast. Offline, I know we talked about doing fab building. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I don't want to spend too much time on that today. It's just that because of the construction and the quality and Drew's expertise, he's going to bring in some really strategic partners on the building side. So it's going to expedite and move up our construction time faster. What I'll say is our fit and finishings are going to be above the typical standards, with 25% above the standards. They're going to be energy efficient. Every unit will have in-suite laundries and all the amenities all built in. But the strategic strength here is having strength with Drew and understanding the building capacity and bringing in the right people. We don't have to get into the bricks and mortar of it because that's his kind of thing. But some of the things he's implementing is going to accelerate our construction time.
Which I love because it's bringing efficiency and then bringing obviously the return faster in the end versus being in a construction build for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's very, very a good.
The example.
One
other thing I wanted to say is, many years, in the last 3 to 7 years, a lot of people have gotten into this pre-construction silliness. So they bought these pre-construction units with the hope and sense that they're going to add an extra $200,000 in increase in value just through time. But unfortunately, what has happened in the last 16 to 24 months, that whole market has really taught us that you can't really hope and pray. You need strong, predictable, credible projects that deliver strong results in good markets and bad. On a $700,000 project, you're literally putting a minimum 20% down for $140,000 over a period of time with real no strength and growth and opportunity. Here, with that money that we're putting in, every year from when we start, our building's going up 3%. So there's massive opportunity. So if someone who has been doing that wants a real strong, predictable, reasonable strategy and be a part of 450 units as opposed to one, then this is really the great opportunity to join us. What do you think?
Yeah. Perfect. Well said. Yeah. Just to comment, you mentioned about the build, and I'm going to go just step back, is I think Mark nailed it really well. But I do think a couple things should be highlighted in terms of just what, if you want us to paint a picture of what the building may want to look like, because I think it is a little, it would be important for some of the, audience to appreciate, we have quartz counters in the kitchens and in the bathrooms. And I really like this on the windowsills inside the units. Everyone puts your plants, coffee mugs, and stains on like drywall. So everything is built, that I'll say, for longevity purposes, but we really don't take the quality and workmanship and craftsmanship away from the build. So people will really see a very modern, traditional, contemporary build. It's very simple, but very well designed, that people will, of really anyone would appreciate. But it's built for the investors for longevity and built for the tenants to feel comfortable and make it really their home. For example, painting all the walls, we've always seen this before, painting the walls white. Well, we do that for the reason so individuals that live in the units can do what they want and splash their ideas and designs with their pillows being red or yellow or purple. Their furniture will show their personality. So we do everything very strategically, so it's safe, but based on longevity and for, for long term for the investors, we're building a very strong building that will uphold for a very long time. And the best thing about it is there's a warranty of the building that, Drew will also have. And knowing that Drew's also going to be a part of the building as an LP, I think is very important to show you that we're not just trying to sell you something. We're actually being a part of it. We believe in it. And Drew, also being the builder, believes in it and is not going anywhere. So I know that's always a concern too, of who we get, who's building is building, and then they build it and they run. No, this person is building and holding with us. And one more step is he's performance based. So if he says it costs this much, it's that much. Anything over and beyond that is on his pay grade, or his, it's out of his pocket. It's not the LPs or the investors that have to make the difference up, which is a very scary thing for a lot of people when looking at new construction. But again, we've really looked at and really did a good job with experience of so many years selling new construction between Mark and I combined, and being a part of that. We really wanted to make sure that we had the right person and the right exit strategies for these concerns that people have had with builders. So I think that would be very important to see that you're buying 2 apartment buildings that will have longevity behind it. It will have creativity for the people living in it. It will allow for things not to break down, strong hardware on the kitchen cabinets, which is important, rather than, things that will be fragile and they look great, but they won't last. We don't want that. Vinyl plank luxury flooring, obviously, and throughout the building. Stone stucco luxury cladding on the exterior.
It'll really be sharp.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good building. We have, of course, investment deck that we shared with you that you can obviously check out some of the past work from Drew, and you'll see why we chose him. We look at simple, modern, contemporary. The last thing I'll mention is, in the building, my favorite, being an investor and having investments myself, is there's no light fixtures, meaning there's all lights everywhere. So you don't have to worry about, kids hanging from a chandelier, or light bulbs not working or have to be changed, or, people, breaking the light hanging from the ceiling, or, those classic, we call them those builder standard light bulbs and light fixtures. It's all pot lights, all controlled with Smart One technology for each tenant anywhere in the world, including their HVAC. And it's really a sharp building, and people really appreciate that from both the tenants that we want to enjoy and call it their home, but also for the investors.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
It's going to be
a few things that you mentioned that are very key from an investor point of view is that it's going to look good for the tenant, but it's built durable for the investor. So I don't see fees being tackled on later to fix all of that. So that's a good point. But also the builder that is committed, and then the way the partnership has been built, it shows the testament to the builder's confidence in his own pricing.
Yeah,
so
and one thing when I look at the people around us, they're all really good people. The critical thing is, whatever we do in life, whether it's this or other stuff, you have to have really good people around you with strong foundations of good people and good core values that are looking at the bigger picture and really kind of standing behind it. So if there's anything I can ever say is that the people that we've surrounded ourselves, including myself, and making sure that people on the investors and the LPs, they're just great people. You just want to see something for themselves and for their families. The critical thing that I want everyone to understand here is that this is a long-term relationship. The goal and the vision here is, once these 450 units are out, we want to build and expand with the people within us and their family and their friends by adding another potential building in year 7 or year 8. So there's another 300 or 400 units. So collectively, we've made a huge impact on these people. And that's going to be monumental. I know that's an essential part for me. Because improving the lives of people around us is critical. And however we do it, however we achieve it, as long as it's a win for everybody, and in this case, I can confidently say, yeah, it's a win for everybody here. That we've got the really good people around us. And there's absolutely, if you have the capacity and the vision, then come and join us.
Yeah, I love it. I think the confidence builds trust, and then the way you're explaining the project, the strategic thinking behind every little piece is showing a lot. So that's very good. What would be the worst case scenario for investors at this point?
That's a great question.
And yes, you know what? I think we've underwritten the file. And this is the backbone of the deal is the financials. Let's be honest. And I think what we've done here is a couple of things. We've insulated it and underwritten in a very conservative but hard approach. Why? We're using 5% on the vacancy side. Right now, everyone has heard a lot of stuff about rents and this and that adjusting at 2.8, 2.9, and even 3%. But also they're saying rents have also increased. So in our case, we've buffered ourselves and our group at 5% on an annual or monthly basis. We've got a pool of money sitting so that the real estate pays for itself, not the investors, the real estate pays for itself. Debt is great when it's being paid by others. So the critical path here, the piece here is that we've put that 5% aside every single year. That stays there. We've only appreciated our building at 3%. We've been told 4 to 5%. So what does that mean? That means that our investors are going to get a bigger refinance, but we're going to say today at 3%. The other critical piece is we're running operating expenses at 30%. Most of the time, a lot of these buildings are running between 24 to 26%. We built at 30%. With property taxes, insurance, repairs and maintenance, capital costs, all in those platforms. Now, so that if we have to replace or clean or paint, we've got money to set aside. Again, going back to the principal point, the real estate has to pay for itself. I mean, today, unfortunately, many investors are having to cover their own rental properties because of shortfalls. Rates have gone up, impacting their cash flows, so now they're having to kick in the extra money, $300-400 a month. We've done that. The other thing, too, we've also been very, very clear with our cost. We're going to increase our expenses. We know that. Inflation is 1.9. We're running between 2.75, 2.5. We're increasing annually. Our rents, we've been very conservative there. Again, assessing and really coming in at below even what the government rates are. And this is not a rent control building, so we have lots of flexibility. And so when we put that all together, I think we've done a really good job. Plus, it's also been underwritten by lots of different people. It's also been challenged, tested, and I guess questioned at times. And always, I should say, everyone says you guys are super conservative. And why? Because in good times and bad times, it's better to be clear, honest, precise, especially. And there's no guarantee in anything. But if we insulate our investors, our LPs, and we do the right things and bring in the right people like we're doing, they are poised for success. What are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, you nailed it, Mark. I mean, everything that was we call it the meat and potatoes of the underwriting, I think is the first thing that we started. You know, the location, the building, the quality, the people around us, all that is obviously super important. But at the end of the day, it's about people's finances and the investment period. You know, this is, I call it's fluff, but it's good fluff. People should still know the story of why, where it's coming, who's involved. But at the end of it, we call it the love story. But what people really care about, and they should, and I don't blame them because we are both invested in this building, is the numbers. It's not made up. It's not, it's not a story. It's here are the numbers and projections. Here is what I love the word you use, insulated. We've insulated, we're conservative, and we've had people look at at this pro forma, to strategically criticize it, we'll call it. And we opened it to others to look at them. And I think that's really, like, at the end of the day, we all know that these buildings probably will operate brand new around 25, 24, 26%. And we're right off the bat at 30%. Well, that 4-6% difference is huge on 450 units of income. And then again, like Mark said, to echo what he said, like every year we're not basing it, we're doing 30% of expenses, and we're adding year over year another 2.5 to 2.75% every year. And even like this year, they're projected at 1.98, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we're way above that. So again, being super conservative, I think, is the takeaway here. Insulating people's investments. And a side note, this is just how I see things visually sometimes is I've been a defenseman my entire life in hockey, and I find that we are being defensive for people's financial, investments. We are at the forefront. Our name is behind this, and our reputation is on the line. We've built a great system and network behind us, but we're being defensive in the approach of how do we insulate and defend those risks that your original question was, well, what is the scariest part or the most thing that makes it nervous for an investor? To answer it and coming all full circle to give you a straight, short answer to that, it's probably the time. How much time? Is it going to be 4 years? Is it going to be 5 years? I think that's really the only thing for me personally for what is the risk or what is the scariest part. Like any new construction, it's time. But again, Mark nailed it. We're bringing in a builder who has experience with trades, who has experience, we have experience with the product, that we are willing to pay sometimes a little bit more money for efficiency purposes, because we know that it's important for people that put money out. They want to see a return as soon as possible. But in this project, I really, really, really believe that this one's worth waiting for. It really is. And that's why, again, to summarize, it's probably the length of time, but we've insulated that. And I think
I think that would be the thing I would say. Real estate is the long game.
Yeah.
It's not the short game. And the critical paths is we've got a key list of non-negotiables.
Yeah.
We also have the other fact is I've been lending private money for the last 10 years, millions and millions and millions of dollars have come out. So whether it's Nick's money or Mode's money or Sam or friends, I treat it the same. I guard it as if I was writing the check and Nick was writing the check. So that's a critical piece for me, meaning that if we're going to underwrite this and for our own money, your money is just as important, whether you come in at $167,000 or $1 million. Your money is just as equally important to me or more than my own money, because we built up a reputation of lending millions of dollars to great people who need it in times of need to kind of make life easier for them, and at the same time provide our investors with strong exit strategies. So this is what this does. It gives every opportunity for everybody at any point in their life, 20 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. If this is something you want to pass on or invest for your kids or grandchildren, I could certainly say it will be a gift that they will never forget.
Mm-hmm. I love that you, from an investor's perspective, you've addressed every risk possible, questions that investor would have with the efficiency of how the construction is going to happen, the conservative numbers, the fact that your numbers are not just made up, they've been challenged, they've been reviewed, they're secure. It builds a lot of confidence in your project and your numbers. So now, why is this project so meaningful to you? What legacy are you two bringing to your family?
Well,
Go ahead.
For me, really, it's this. And I'll try to keep it under 30 seconds or less. One is for the 5 families who've given us the ability and confidence to sell a place they call home, a place that they've lived whether 1 year or 50 years. That's a critical thing. It's going to be something that's going to have a massive impact on their families because of the amount of money they're getting for their land and all the rest of it. It's going to be monumental because it's going to maybe give their kids or themselves the things that they may not necessarily be able to afford down the road. So that's the first thing for me. The second thing is for the people around us, is really bringing them the kind of passive income and the lifestyle and the returns that they see for themselves and their family, and creating the generational wealth. For my side of it, for myself, for my own kids, for my own family, it's about leaving a legacy to say, hey, you know what? We brought together and started with 5 people on Rymal Road in Hamilton. These 5 people gave us the confidence and trust to allow us to sell the place they call home, to convert it to where it is today. And having said that, that's the greatest gift. I talk to my kids continuously about improving the lives of people around us. So at every stage, it's the foundation is about improving the quality of lives of people around us. But I can't thank the sellers enough who gave us not this great opportunity to say, hey, we'll sell you the first parcel, then the second parcel, then the third. To assemble 5 parcels in a strategic location like that in these times was not easy, but it's okay. Nothing comes easy. And if it was easy, everyone would do it. But the critical thing, and I took more than 30 seconds, is really, really making the people around us, at whatever stage you are, whether you're a trades, you're an investor, you're a GP, LP, or a seller, making sure that when we leave this world, we left it in a better place.
Yeah, and well said, Mark. And the only thing I think I would add to that, because everything you said was perfect, is from the very start, which is the people that we're buying the parcels from, it really encapsulates everybody, from the people that live there now, to where the project's going, to the people living in the building, to the builder that we brought on board, Drew, to you, to myself, and then to everyone's families invested, living, and anything that has anyone that's touched or has going to be building or living, investing. It really will change a lot of people's lives, even from the plumbers that we hire. We've given them a job, the electricians, Mark and myself, our families, the investors, the tenant, everyone. It really will impact a lot of people's lives. And more so, I think the biggest thing of the legacy is, I think for real estate agents or for the self-employed, a little bit of an experience, a little background. I was a teacher for around 8 to 9 years. I did the whole thing with school, got my contract, was a teacher, did my vice principal. Where I'm going with that is, I was always told that you go to school, you get your job, you work your 9 to 5, and then you get your pension if you're lucky enough to have a job like that, and you're good. And then for the rest of your life, that's what you do. And then when you retire, you get a pension plan and you have money coming in. When I got out of that and got into real estate, it was like, oh no, what do I do? How do I plan? What's the stock market? How do I invest? How do I protect myself? How do I protect my family? And the biggest word, I think with all real estate agents, developers, builders, investors, is the last 3 years, we can all agree, have been very volatile, been very scary, and very nerve-wracking. And the only word that I keep seeing that's popping in my head that I want to say is chasing commissions. For real estate agents, chasing commission checks all the time. When's my next payday? When's my next check? When is it coming? When is it coming? That was one for me personally, that I don't want to be stressing out every single day with my so far 2 young kids at home, under the age of 4, and working on the phone constantly, on the phone. I don't want to miss events. I don't want to miss anything. And I want to have a more peaceful, relaxing type of life and be there for my kids. And every person that we speak to has that same vision, that if they're, I guess what, Mark, you said this before, there are a lot of people that Mark and I talk to on a daily basis that are big time, and I applaud them for that. They are largest REITs in Canada, largest REITs in the world, largest pension plan, awesome, great stuff, and they deserve every single dollar. That was the thing where Mark and I said, why can't people like you and I, Mark, do this? Why would we, just because we don't have, this is from your mouth, Mark, just because we don't have access to that type of money, the only difference to them is that they have access to a lot more money, and they can leverage their money in bigger and greater returns. Well, why can't we do that? So that's the biggest vision for our legacy is, we don't care if you're coming in at 165,000 or coming in at 5 million. It doesn't matter, but we know that there's going to be lives changed here for people at any amount, and the people that have limited access to money will still be a part of the big picture.
Right on.
And not that to us, I think, is the legacy that one day when we're driving, when I go to the warplane museum in Hamilton with my son who's obsessed with planes, and we go to that museum in 5 years or 6 years from now, we'll be able to say to him, look, there's the apartment buildings that we invested in and built with Mark. This is where we started, and this has changed many people's lives. Again, not only from the investors, not only from us, but from trades. There are trades out there looking for jobs, right? We're going to be providing jobs for people to build this building. Like, there's so many.
Everyone gets touched.
I'm seeing, like, in my head a flow chart, and it's like spider web of where it's going to, where these buildings are really going to touch the lives of a lot of people, whether they're not investing, whether they're living, whether they're working on it, building it. There's so many lives that this building will touch. And so, to answer your question very direct, it's going to be a legacy for Mark and I, knowing that we built this, we did this for everyone surrounding us and maybe other people that we don't know, that we would love to know, that want to invest in it and be a part of this core value group. And we still want to continue growing. We don't want to stop here. We'd like to continue refinancing and buying and leveraging money to buy more projects and more units down the road. And I think that the biggest part is, to end this little part, is where are you going to leverage, for example, $12.5 million in this project? Where are you leveraging $12.5 million for over $160 million of real estate? I don't know where it is right now. I don't think it exists. Could be wrong, but it just doesn't exist. And that's why this is our legacy. One of them that we like to leave behind is changing everyone's lives that have, that would be a part of this at any point.
You said one thing really, what's really interesting is for that electrician who's working on that site, you have a job now for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or that landscaper, or that roofer. Like, there's literally hundreds of people that are going to work on this site.
And I would like to mention is that we just almost, I think we're there. I think we firmed up this colleague of ours, but the property manager that we just put in place, he said overnight you will be our largest and biggest client, and he's doing everything in his power to be the manager of this building. We firmly believe he's got the right tools necessary and the right passion, drive, and better mindset that we share, that he's really that'll be involved in the marketing and the maintenance and the customer satisfaction and service of the building and the tenants. Again, home is the key word here, that he appreciates and knows that. And that's where I think, again, like, having him and all of the people that work for him, he's got like 50 to 20 employees under him. Like, that's, again, right there changes a whole bunch of people's lives. That business will grow substantially from 1,000 units he has to now at least another 450.
Now those families go out and buy food and groceries and pay for their shelter and pay for activities, and off they go. So, like, this is, my Nona said one thing: I'd rather have a half a loaf of bread than no bread at all. And it's something simple, but at the same time, if we can bring enough people together and leverage everyone to join and participate, why not?
Overall, it looks like the big picture is the impact. Like you said, impacting the community, the trades, the business, the investors, the renters, all of it. And Rymal Road will get impact as well by the community and this beautiful
the grocery stores, the everything, the trains,
the school, the park, everything. It's not a small project. We really understand that, and we know that from day one when Mark knocked on the first door, and door knocking still does work. It really started to change, like we said, that individual's life and to the next, to the next, to the next. So, again, it will change a lot. And even having, we don't know for sure, but we are assuming that the city of Hamilton would appreciate a commercial space. So there's another aspect and layer to add, that one of the buildings may have to have the main floor commercial, and we're totally welcoming the idea. So there you go again. There could be a vet, could be just a corner store, could be whatever, medical, pharmacy. Like, there's another added layer to having a self-employed or individual that runs a business that can be a part of that, having 450 units at their fingertips for groceries, a small little corner store that has that. So
it's massive.
It is
It's a million dollars for people.
It is. And that's probably the legacy that Mark and I, at the end of the day, for the amount of times we talk on the phone every single day with all these other deals that are going on. This isn't a deal to us. This isn't just another investment. It might sound like that to others, but really this is something that we are working really hard on, because we want this to be, impactful for everyone. And that's really what we're trying to do. And even our returns, you'll see the numbers when you see it. We're not hiding returns. We've had people approach us and say, why are you giving so much money away on our returns? Was one of the comments we received. Why don't you take profit? Why don't you, filter the profit, I guess is the correct word to say it. Where some of the larger REITs that, you could be a part of, are giving you 10, 15, 20% return on your money. And our supersedes well over that. Our profit to our LPs is well above that. And that's what I think also goes to show that when we show that to future investors or friends, that look, we're not hiding profit. This is what it is. And this full profit's going to the LPs, period. We're not that's it. We're not filtering anything. We're not hiding it. Mark and I are not using this and then going to buy something separately. In fact, it's the opposite. We're using everyone's money. We'd say, hey, let's go do another one. This all work out. If one of the people don't want to do that, I think this is important to say, no problem. You could take your money and continue holding this one for us. But Mark and I would like to go buy another one. Who's with us? If there's half of the group wants to go, then we set up another group to go buy another unit, right? There's no pressure. There's no anything. It's open-ended conversations. And if people would like to move forward or like to continue that growth, Mark and I are definitely for it. And there's no pressure or stress or anything on anyone. We all have enough of that in our life to do that to anyone. So again, that's basically the answer. Is we really have strong core values in this project, and it's in the investment deck. We wanted to put it at the very beginning to show why, but we chose to put it at the end because we know it's the love story. But I think it's important and for people to know and realize who they're getting into business with. But I think I think we said enough. The 30 seconds or less turned it to like 30 minutes. But it's important.
Yeah, it is important. And I think the fact that the 5 land owners are also part of the investment overall. So you didn't just buy the land and kick them out. You're like building this impact with them as well. So if someone's interested right now, that is interested to join your project, what's their next step? How do they get more information or reserve their spot?
I guess Mo, you can put it in the podcast or however you do these things. You can put Nick's information down or my information down. Book a call with us. A call with us. We can do it Zoom or in person. We're pretty accessible. Monday to Sunday. All you simply
24/7.
All I would really say is if you really want to improve the quality of your life, not today because real estate's a long game, and create that passive income so you don't have to worry about working and invest in a business. You never even have to show up or drive by, and create that massive income for your family on a generational level. Then this is the project for you. This will check off all the boxes. So I guess get on a call with Nick or myself.
Yeah, get on a call with us, and we can then, the next step would be calling us, get some more information if you need it. We can meet. You can even meet with the builder over Zoom or in person. If that's what you need, no problem. If that is totally okay, we can even walk through some of the builder's current buildings and projects to bring some more tangible confidence to the client or to the investor. And then more than that is we're not collecting the money. I think it's important to say we have exempt market dealers. That would be this next step that we send you we send your information to them, and everything in this project is done with security lawyers and exempt market dealers and all of the policies. Full compliance with all that. We are not collecting your money. The exempt market dealers will go over all that with you, and then from that point, your check will go to them, and they will deposit the account. At the end of the day, we are looking for an August 1st, right? August 1st.
All the money in,
right? And then basically that would be the next step is contact us, and then we send it to an EMD if you're still interested, and at that point, it'd be good to go.
Yeah, you can ask us any question. You'll be free tomorrow, and that's good. The more questions you ask, the better it is. But I've been
The better.
this is going to impact a massive amount of people.
Yeah.
At every level.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for sharing this project with us. I can't wait to see how it comes to fruition and all the returns coming from that.
So what should we mark you down for, Mode?
I know.
Put you right on the spot. Don't edit that out of the video.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because I was going to ask on the personal question for each of you, how much have you invested in the project to show?
I think we've got, we're probably into over $1 million each, I think, right?
I have to look at the percentage, and it's over 3%.
Yeah.
It's over around 3 point. So it's good to know 165,000 gets you 1.14%. So I think we are at just over 500,000, but we are working on selling a couple of our own personal assets to add another 500 potentially. Yeah. We see the value, and right now we're locked in around 550, I think it is. But there's more. We'd like to bring more. Depending.
And we're working on it to bring more money of our own capital in.
Yeah, again, we don't want to bring in a lot of capital because, we'd love to, but again, we don't want it to be this about us, right? So if there's people that are coming in and build a project, then we're okay with that. But if we're needed, let's call it that, we have no problem putting more capital in. We're trying to see how things are going and get everyone in, like we said. And then once everyone gets in, if we're short a little bit, there's lots of ways that Mark and I, Drew, and maybe other potential investors that are already invested into this project, we can always go back and ask for more if needed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike, if you're listening and you're feeling that tug, that voice that's saying, I've been wanting to invest, but I just didn't have the right opportunity. Well, this is it. You don't need to be a real estate expert. You don't need to manage tenants or stress about the market. This is your invitation to own the profits, not the work. Thank you for tuning in to Sold Right Away. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. Until next time, keep growing and keep winning.